One of the crucial pieces of learning I had when I went away was to help to understand how important it was to hear the stories of people that you're working with in order that you can understand where their fear may come from and where their behaviour may come from. Because when it comes to mental health, actually, the crucial thing for us all to understand is not what somebody else's diagnosis is, but how to support somebody with their behaviour, because it's their behaviour that causes them problems. Now, of course, internally, they may have struggles with their mental health, but in terms of society, fitting in, building relationships, making friendships, it's going to be their behaviours that cause them a problem. If you understand how to handle those and how to manage those and support people with those, you'll be better off. Well, the first thing to remember is what I said at the beginning, which is that we're all afraid of something. So if you can get an idea of where their fear comes from and name it for them, that might help them. Another thing to understand if you're working with people is we always need to ask what's happened to you, not what's wrong with you. And this was brought starkly home to me when I was in Olympia and I spent time with Dario. And I spoke to Dario and he told me this story, a story of a school in Walla Walla called Lincoln High, which I visited. And at Lincoln High, they deal with those children with emotional behavioural difficulties, the most challenging children in that city. And there was a young girl who'd been unmanageable at all the schools that she'd been at. She was aggressive and violent. She refused to be schooled. She was taken to Lincoln. And Dario was present when this happened. The young girl, the first question that the principal asked the young girl was, "What happened to you?" The answer came back, "My dad died, my mum had a breakdown, life was difficult." And the next thing that the principal did was offer her a hug. They hugged that person. Why did she do that? Because she knew that actually until you've understood what's really causing someone's behaviour, what's really causing their fear. In this case, who knows what the deep set fear was, but I assume it is that everyone's going to abandon me. Everyone's going to be lost to me. Maybe she fears that she's going to be a risk to people. So why is she pushing people away? Well, we don't know. But what we know is she's pushing people away, and if we just carried on asking, what's wrong with you? Why do you keep pushing people away? She won't know. What happened to you? She knows. And that's another thing that's really important when we're thinking about mental health. Sometimes we need to avoid certain things. Don't ever say to somebody, what's the worst that can happen? You don't know what their life is. Somebody might know exactly what the worst is that can happen. So understanding what happened to somebody, rather than understanding and trying to ask what's wrong with somebody, is really essential if we're going to work with people successfully, and if you're going to help people to feel safe, connected and heard. And that's the heard part, isn't it? Because if you understand what's happened to somebody, rather than just the behaviour they're doing, then you can hear them properly. They can feel heard, not just listened to. So safe, connected and heard was one of the biggest, most powerful things that I brought back from America, developing on the learning that I had.